leave off tomorrow. So this actually gives you what you already found. You just have to make sure you know the derivative rule for a constant function. And I also have different notations on here. So if your function is of the form f of x equals c, a constant, the derivative then is 0. Or I also have the Leibniz notation written down. So that's the d dx, the derivative with respect to x of any constant is 0. So make sure you understand both notations. And then the power rule. So this is the derivative of any power function of the form f of x equals x to the n, where n is any real number. Like you already found, f prime of x is going to be n times x to the n minus 1. Or, again, the Leibniz notation, d dx, derivative with respect to x of x to the n is n times x to the n minus 1. So, again, realize this was different days last year. What I'd like you to do, use what you already know to answer examples 1 and 2. And then I'd actually like you to go ahead and answer example 3 as well. So example 3 is having you take it a step further and find an equation of a tangent line, which we've done before. This curve was a problem that was on the sheet you just did. And then it gives you a point at which the tangent line is on or going through. So work on those 3 at least, and then we'll check those. Remember, for 1 and 2, you have to rewrite the function first before you take the derivative.
What? Oh, so it's Hey. 3 over 2 plus 1. 2 times 1. 1.5. Oh, it's 1 to the 1/2. Oh. it's not. Going to my calculator.
Negative 3 over 2 times negative 1 plus 1.
This is 0.75.
What are you doing? You put 1 and 1 into the tangent line, bro.
Yeah, we gotta find the slope, bro.
I did. What?
What?
You
Oh,
put 1 in here. And then multiply.
no, you screwed up. I bet you screwed up.
This is the same thing here.
Q, you messed up. No, that's not the slope though.
1 to the 1 half power.
Yeah, plug in 1. What do you get?
1 to the 1 half power.
0.5.
Is 1.
It's 0.5.
It's 1.
It's
The
0.5.
square root of 1 is 1.
Good.
What
Q,
kind of new age math
Q,
are you
Q,
doing?
look at this.
Check
Oh, shoot. Well, you got yourself there for the fun right here. And it's 1.5. So there's no point. Fake news. Q, calm down.
Here, let me check it over.
No, you shouldn't. Because I was gone for 2 units out of the 3 on the quiz. Actually, I think yeah, because it's 4.1, 4.2, 4.3. I was gone for 1 and 2. But I think it's 2 points for the quiz. Yeah, I know, but I haven't made one little hiccup with this one.
Hey. Oh.
Yeah. Oh. Like the conundrum you have.
Oh.
Okay, what? That
Dang! She got an apple back here.
Oh.
well, she had the teacher.
What the hell?
Oh. Oh.
Oh, I thought you said I thought you meant real life.
Yeah. I thought she meant that.
She's not gonna know.
She didn't notice at all, bro. Oh.
Why are you touching my stuff?
He threw the highlighter under your desk and I saw an apple. And it weighed a lot. And I was like, what the heck? Was this to hold all your papers down? You think I can make it?
Is this a gift?
Just don't.
Hey, you could escape with this. Throw it in through the window.
It is, yeah.
You know I have to do another set.
Do you have to do it right now? Wait. No, don't do it right now.
You won't do
Just
it.
don't do it right now.
Listen to her.
You won't do it. You won't do it right now.
Hey, you guys know when you watch these videos, you can't even go
Yeah.
All right.
You won't do it.
Double check what you have, because I know I was glancing. I really wanted to make sure for 3 you're actually writing the equation, not just finding the derivative. And then a couple of things I do want to point out. So for 1, you can leave it as negative 3x to the negative 4th. If you're simplifying it, this is the correct way to simplify. For 2, if you are just given y, you can rewrite that as f of x, but the notation then for the derivative would just be y prime. Or you could write the Leibniz notation dy dx. But if you added in that y is f of x and then you wrote f prime of x, that's fine too. But just know that there's different ways to show that you have the derivative. You can leave it as 4/5 x to the negative 1/5, or this would be the correct way to simplify it, 4 over 5 times the 5th root of x in the denominator. And then for 3, I know I had said you just found this derivative on your previous sheet. The slope is the derivative at the point 1, 1. So the slope is 3 over 2. So point slope form or rewriting it into slope intercept, either is fine. And if you had the decimals and not fractions, that is also fine. Yes. Yes. If you are working on practice in the textbook as well, the back of the book will simplify all the answers. So if you're checking answers, if yours looks different, they're going to have the simplified answer, not necessarily.